We've all seen the images. Homes ripped apart, streets turned into raging rivers, families huddled in shelters, wondering if they'll have anything left to go back to. Hurricanes are a fact of life here in Florida, and the devastation they leave behind is impossible to ignore. Every year people make the same dangerous mistakes when a hurricane is coming. They believe the myths, the half-truths, the whispers of it won't be that bad. And it could mean the difference between safety and disaster. Let's cut through the noise and expose these myths for what they are. Dangerous misconceptions that could cost you everything. Let's bust these myths before it's too late. This is one of the most dangerous myths out there. We think about hurricanes, we think about storm surge, the ocean rising up. The images that come to mind are often of coastal areas being battered by relentless waves and rising tides. But the truth is, a hurricane's reach goes far beyond the coastline. These powerful storms don't just stop at the shore, they continue to move inland, bringing their destructive force with them. Think back to Hurricane Ian. It wasn't just the coastal areas that were affected. We saw catastrophic flooding, not just in coastal communities but miles and miles inland. Rivers overflowed, streets turned into rivers, and homes were submerged. Towns that never thought they'd see a drop of seawater were suddenly underwater. People were caught off guard thinking they were safe because they lived far from the coast. And it's not just the water. The winds that hurricanes bring can be equally, if not more, devastating. Hurricanes pack winds that can tear through entire neighborhoods, regardless of whether they're on the coast or deep inland. These winds can reach speeds of over 100 miles per hour, causing widespread destruction. These winds can rip roofs off houses, topple trees, and turn everyday objects into deadly projectiles. Look at the map. The damage isn't confined to the coastline, it spreads far and wide. See how far inland these storms can reach. The impact zones extend well beyond the immediate coastal areas, affecting communities that might not have considered themselves at risk. Hurricane Irma in 2017, a massive storm that affected the entire state. It wasn't just the coastal cities that suffered, inland areas faced severe damage as well. Hurricane Michael in 2018, devastating communities far from the coast with its powerful winds. The storm's reach was extensive, proving that no area is truly safe. The reality is, no matter where you live in Florida, you're vulnerable to a hurricane's fury. The entire state is at risk, from the coastal cities to the inland towns. Thinking you're safe just because you're not right on the beach is a gamble you can't afford to take. Preparation is key, no matter where you are. Storms don't stop at the beach, they move inland, bringing their destructive power with them. Even if you're miles inland, extreme winds, flooding, and tornadoes are a real threat. The best way to stay safe is to stay informed and prepared no matter where you live. Let's be clear. Duct tape on your windows is not going to save your home from a hurricane. It might make you feel better, but it's a false sense of security. We've all seen the pictures, windows boarded up with what looks like 100 rolls of duct tape. But the truth is, tape offers little to no protection against hurricane-force winds. Think about the physics. Those winds, they're not just pushing against your windows, they're creating pressure differences that can suck windows right out of their frames. And once that happens, the real damage begins. Water pours in. Wind whips through your house, turning everything into a dangerous projectile. It's a recipe for disaster. The only real solution is to invest in proper hurricane protection. Hurricane shutters, impact-resistant windows. These are the things that are actually going to make a difference when a storm hits. They're designed and tested to withstand the extreme forces of a hurricane. Don't skimp on your safety. Duct tape might be good for a lot of things, but protecting your home from a hurricane isn't one of them. Chapter 3. This is a classic case of procrastination meeting panic. The mindset of, I can wait until the last minute to prepare, is not only risky, but can also be downright dangerous when it comes to hurricanes. We've all seen the images: grocery store shelves stripped bare, lines for gas snaking around the block, people scrambling for supplies as a storm bears down. These scenes are not just dramatic, they are a stark reminder of the chaos that ensues when preparation is left too late. Waiting until the last minute to prepare for a hurricane is like playing Russian roulette with your safety. The unpredictability of hurricanes means that by the time you decide to act, it might already be too late to ensure your safety and the safety of your loved ones. By the time a storm is on its way, it's often too late. The window for effective preparation closes rapidly, leaving you with limited options and heightened risks. Essential supplies like water, batteries, non-perishable food, they disappear from store shelves faster than you can say, "hurricane warning." The rush to gather these items at the last minute often results in frustration and panic. And even if you can find what you need, you're going to pay a premium for it. Prices for essential items can skyrocket as demand surges, adding financial stress to an already tense situation. Gas stations run dry, roads become congested, and the stress levels skyrocket. The mad dash to prepare can lead to dangerous driving conditions and heightened anxiety, making an already difficult situation even worse. Don't put yourself through that. The peace of mind that comes with being prepared well in advance is invaluable. Knowing that you have everything you need allows you to focus on keeping your family safe. The key to hurricane preparedness is to be proactive, not reactive. Start now. Begin by creating a comprehensive plan that includes all the essentials you'll need to weather the storm. Stock up on supplies gradually throughout hurricane season. This approach not only spreads out the cost, but also ensures that you're not caught in the last-minute rush. Develop a plan with your family. Know your evacuation route. Practice it regularly so that everyone knows what to do and where to go when the time comes. Don't wait until the last minute and risk being caught off guard. The stress and uncertainty of last-minute preparations can be overwhelming and dangerous. By the time a storm is near, essential supplies are gone. Smart homeowners prepare early. They understand that the best way to protect their families is to be ready long before the storm is even named. Get your home ready now, before the next storm is even named. Secure your property, install storm shutters, and make sure your home is as fortified as possible. Early preparation is the key to weathering the storm safely and with peace of mind. Chapter 4. Don't let the numbers fool you. Every hurricane, no matter the category, is a dangerous storm capable of causing significant damage and putting lives at risk. We tend to fixate on the big numbers, the Category 4s and 5s, but the truth is, even a Category 1 or 2 hurricane can be deadly. Remember, it's not just about the wind speed, it's about the storm surge, the torrential rainfall, the potential for tornadoes. All of these factors can combine to create a life-threatening situation. Think about Hurricane Harvey in 2017. It made landfall as a Category 4, but it stalled over Texas, dumping record amounts of rain and causing catastrophic flooding. Tens of thousands of homes were destroyed, and over 100 people lost their lives. Or consider Hurricane Sandy in 2012. It wasn't even a hurricane at landfall, but it was a massive storm that caused widespread damage along the East Coast from Florida to Maine. Over 200 people died, and the economic losses were staggering. The bottom line is this: any hurricane can be deadly. Don't wait to protect your home. Chapter 5. Here's the hard truth. Hurricane insurance can be complicated, and it often doesn't cover everything you think it does. Many homeowners believe that once they have hurricane insurance, they are fully protected from any damage a hurricane might cause. Unfortunately, this is not always the case. We buy insurance to protect ourselves, but when it comes to hurricanes, there are often gaps in coverage that can leave you financially devastated. It's crucial to understand these gaps so you can take steps to protect yourself and your property. For example, most standard homeowners insurance policies don't cover flood damage. This is a common misconception that can lead to significant financial loss if you're not prepared. That's right, you need a separate flood insurance policy for that. Flood insurance is essential if you live in a hurricane-prone area, as flooding is one of the most common and costly damages caused by hurricanes, and even then, there are limits to what's covered. Flood insurance policies often have specific exclusions and limitations, so it's important to read the fine print and understand exactly what is and isn't covered. Then there are windstorm deductibles. These are separate, higher deductibles that kick in when a hurricane causes damage. Windstorm deductibles can be a percentage of your home's insured value, which means they can be quite substantial. These are separate, higher deductibles that kick in when a hurricane causes damage. This means that even if you have coverage, you could be on the hook for thousands of dollars before your insurance pays a dime. It's important to factor these potential costs into your financial planning. So, even if you have coverage, you could be on the hook for thousands of dollars before your insurance pays a dime. This can be a huge financial burden, especially if you're already dealing with the stress and disruption caused by a hurricane. And don't forget about evacuation costs. If you're ordered to evacuate, your insurance might not cover things like hotel bills, gas, or meals. These expenses can add up quickly, especially if you're displaced for an extended period. If you're ordered to evacuate, your insurance might not cover things like hotel bills, gas, or meals. These expenses can add up quickly, especially if you're displaced for an extended period. It's important to have an emergency fund set aside to cover these unexpected costs. Those expenses can add up quickly, especially if you're displaced for an extended period. Having a plan in place and knowing what your insurance covers can help you manage these costs more effectively. The best way to protect yourself is to be proactive. This means taking steps to prepare your home and your family for a hurricane before it happens. Simple measures like installing hurricane shutters and creating an emergency plan can make a big difference. Invest in hurricane protection for your home, like impact windows and doors. These upgrades can help minimize damage and reduce your reliance on insurance. They can also provide peace of mind, knowing that your home is better protected against the forces of a hurricane. This can help minimize damage and reduce your reliance on insurance. It's also a good idea to review your insurance policies carefully, understand your coverage limits and deductibles, and consider supplemental coverage if needed. Review your insurance policies carefully, understand your coverage limits and deductibles, and consider supplemental coverage if needed. This can help ensure that you're fully protected and can recover more quickly after a hurricane. Don't wait until a storm is bearing down to figure out what your insurance does and doesn't cover. By taking the time to understand your coverage and prepare your home, you can protect yourself and your family from the financial impact of a hurricane. Look, I've reported on enough hurricanes to know one thing. These storms are unpredictable, and they can be absolutely devastating. But here's the good news. You don't have to face them unprepared. Tampa Hurricane Company can help you get ready for whatever Mother Nature throws our way. They're offering a free hurricane preparedness checkup for your home. Their experts will come out, assess your property, and help you identify any vulnerabilities. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your safety and protect what matters most. Schedule your free checkup today. Because when it comes to hurricanes, being prepared is the best defense.